Hey folks, Stuart back again with another update video for my van. So it's tour time. Let's take a tour around the 3/4 finished van. So last time I showed you the half finished van, that was a little while ago now. That must have been back in August, something like that. So it's now about halfway through January, and it's time to show you a 3/4 finished van. So most of the main sort of stuff has been finished. I've got a sink, I've got a hob, I've got a shower, I've got a central heating system, I've got water tanks, pump, all this sort of thing. I've got some electric, I've got a power inverter, albeit it's a small one and needs to be replaced with a bigger one. So I've got like the main, sort of the main items that you need to make life livable in a van long term if you're going to be a full-time van dweller. So well, let's jump in the van and let's talk you guys through what I've done with laying out my van and some of the stuff that I've used, some of the products, technology that I've used fitted to it. So let's jump in and have a look. Okay then folks, in terms of layout of the van, I've got a rear shower compartment which is just back here. Off to the side of that is a clothes closet. Behind this wall is a utility space, so that's accessed from the rear doors, so that's sealed off from the inside living compartment. That's a nice little addition. I'd do that again definitely for sure if I was doing another van. So I've got the work surface over to this side here. Underneath there's a load of storage which includes things like the butane cylinder, shower pump, a little bit of food storage, that sort of thing. Up in here I've just got like a little folding cupboard here for my laptop. Last time you guys saw inside the van, this was just like plastic boxes stacked up on top of each other with like a shelf in the middle. So I came back and added an offcut of the work surface that I had from fitting the worktop on this side of the van. I just used an offcut of that, added in another work surface on this side which is sort of more like a workstation for sort of officey sort of types of things, computer work, that kind of thing. So if this work surface is at the same level as the other work surface, so it seems to be working out quite well. And I've just added in a spotlight here, which is a 20-watt spotlight. This is quite a warm light, so this is the one I use at night time when I'm going to sort of start winding my day down and getting towards sleep. Here is bed storage, so that's all my bedding lives under here. In this compartment we've got clothes closet, and we've got some more shelves to the bottom there, just boxes in this area. It's just dedicated to storage boxes, clothes, bits of food, pots and pans and dishes down on the bottom, so that seems to be plenty of space to store all that sort of gubbins. And I just keep these closed off with just like towels. I was going to put doors over things, but I've found that it's good to just keep air circulating around, to keep things ventilated, because obviously in a van you are going to fight like a battle against moisture and things like the shower. I kept the shower curtain in the end because obviously I was going to put a door over for the same reasons. I just thought let's have some air circulating through, keep the moisture down. So that's that side done. Let's take a look over here. This was a microwave. I don't know whether that was in last time you guys saw in the van, but I wired in a 240 volt microwave here. So when I went on to shore power, I'd hook up the van to shore power and I'd use the microwave. But to be honest, I wasn't using it that much, so I took it out. And this has just gone to a box, just a box with fruit and veg, got some eggs, that sort of stuff. And down the side here, I've got my cups, my brew kit, and it's usually where I keep the cafetiere sort of coffee making devices. They go in there. This one I think you've seen before, so just a dead simple arrangement, just some magnetic catches at the bottom. So just got some magnetic catches here, simple hinging door, and boxes just for food, cooking, spices, breakfast sort of stuff, cereal, anything like that lives in there. So that seems to be working out quite well. Sink and hob, so this is like a combination unit with a tap mounted away in the corner here, and this is just linked up to the hot water, so I don't have any cold water to that sink. The double hob burner here, this configuration is quite good. It keeps everything compact down this side of the van towards the end of the worktop, which leaves me loads of workspace down this side. But it does just mean you're slightly limited with the types of cooking that you can do here. And the drainage from this sink, it just goes straight through the floor. Power wise, these are not wired at the moment, but they will be once I get my bigger inverter in. At the moment my 240 volt power is just coming from this one over here, so this is wired back to a smaller inverter. So there's just enough power to sort of charge my laptop and run the lights as well, because the lights are running off 240 volts. So that's sort of the rear of the van covered. If we have a look forward now, let's have a look at the, knock these lights off, and let's have a look at the bed sort of sleeping arrangement here. So at the moment, bedding consists of 2 layers of memory foam. That seems to be working out really well. So to set the bed up, see, I just plonk onto there everything that I'm not going to need. So bedding just goes over to the side there. Got some extra foam under here which I use for training, but that serves as double purpose, adds you a little bit extra comfort on your bed. So that goes to there. Pull out the drawer front, flip this over, and then just dump this down basically. So pop that down there, chuck that into there, and then the bedding comes out from here. Chuck that wall to there. Quilt obviously there, and then as I get in, so my feet go underneath, so underneath that little workstation there. So I made a cut-out portion, which just ends up being really nice and comfortable. So if there's someone in next to you here, then there's a little piece of wood that you can add in at the bottom of that bed to make it a bit longer. To make it, I've used solid ply. Obviously solid ply is not going to breathe. It provides a really uniform surface to sleep on, so it's comfortable and it's really level. It's really solid, but the moisture builds up in your bedding, so you have to keep constantly airing out your bedding. So that's one thing to really seriously consider, is how you would go about that. So I think the solution to that is probably drill some holes in there, and I reckon that will fix my problem there. Another little point to note when you're laying things out in your van is that obviously when you're in bed, it's good to be able to get to a light switch or to get to the master switch to isolate the electrics. So from here I can isolate all the electrics just on this switch, and I've got a light switch here which will kill the lights, and I've also got the thermostat for the central heating, so I don't actually have to get out of bed to change any of those things. So once I'm in bed at night time, I've got pretty much full control. Should I need to get up in the night, I've got a light switch right there, and I've got direct control of the heating system. Straight sleeping, there's like a blackout shield that comes down. So that's just like a blanket. I don't really have a problem with setting up this system every night, so I'm putting it away in the morning. So it's dead simple. I'll put it away now. Layout in the van seems to be working out really well for me. I'm really pleased with it. This is the Airtronic located underneath the bed, so I just made a cover to go over it just to protect it. Drop that down, chuck my bits and pieces in here just to stuff it and give it a bit of protection, and stop things dropping on it when it gets really up to temperature, gets warm. So it's dead simple. All we do is we send an exhaust and an intake through the floor. They come supplied with the kit, and then we've got an inlet and an outlet hosing. So it doesn't really get much more complicated than that, I'm pleased to say. And then we've just got some wiring attachments, so dead easy to fit, and yeah, working out well. Next to it here, we've got a temporary fuel tank. So obviously at some point this will get swapped out for an attachment into the vehicle's fuel supply. So in order to do that, I'd need to use a dip tube into the fuel tank. And all I've done here, folks, is underneath here is the intakes. So that's the 2 air intakes there for the heating system. So it sucks air in through a ducting from there into the back there, and then it blows it out on this ducting down here. Just a quick look at what you can do with the space at the back of your vehicle. I dry when I go running or anything like that, do any outdoor activities. Just a space to dry my kit and hang it. Space to keep all my washing, so keeps any dirty kit that might go smelly, it keeps it away from your living space. So this is obviously an essential thing to have, in my opinion. If you're going to live out a van for a good amount of time, then you need a separate space where you can put anything that might be slightly malodorous. You can get rid of it into another compartment. So that's what the function of this one is. It's also given me access here to the water tank, which I fitted, which is like a rectangular sort of water tank, 55 litres. So that you can just get access to it here. So it's cut through that panel there, and it goes into the main body of the vehicle. So that will be boxed off and finished off nicely at some point fairly soon. Just a great space. So I can fit my tools down here. When I go to work, I can fit work gear in here. Obviously, if I've got a bit of time on my hands like now, I can go out training, take any wet gear or anything like that and just use it as a wet locker. So a great little space. Got 240 volts supplied from the inverter and a spotlight as well. So pretty essential. And it's obviously up on top, you can see there's a reversing camera. Hope you enjoyed.